139 days, that is how long it had elapsed since the last men's ODI. And that is why when England and Ireland took the field at Southampton, there was hype, there was attention. But was it all worth it? This is how the first ODI played out. David Willey rocks Ireland early. Ireland's lone spark, Campher. England's batting stutters. But Billings drives home glory. After cricket in whites returned at the very same venue in Southampton, it was time for white ball cricket to resume in Southampton too, as both teams, England and Ireland, were set to take on each other. This also started the ICC Cricket World Cup Super League cycle in the build-up to the 2023 World Cup, each series carrying 30 points. England won the toss and elected to field first. A change in the form of an injury happened. Joe Denley with a late injury was out, as in came Sam Billings for England. As the two teams took the knee to support the Black Lives Matter movement before proceedings began. But once cricket was underway, you could see that Ireland were rusty. So rusty that David Willey just took 4 balls into the game to get the first batsman out. Paul Stirling was gone. In his very next over, Willey came back to strike captain Andy Burney, and suddenly Ireland were 2 down, but their afternoon was just going to get worse. Saqib Mahmood, the youngster for England, then got the debutant Harry Tector out for a duck. And then Willey came back to pick 2 more of successive deliveries in the same over. Ireland were 5 down inside 7 overs, looking in all sorts of trouble. But that's when experienced Kevin O'Brien and youngster making his debut on Curtis Campher stitched together a crucial 51-run stand. The two ensured that there was no further damage. But once spin was introduced from either ends, while Campher looked comfortable, Kevin O'Brien seemed restless. He seemed like he wanted to let loose. He tried doing that against Adil Rashid but was out-caught at long off. It seemed like Ireland were going down a hole, but Andy McBride and Curtis Campher this time stitched together a partnership, the two of them putting together 66 runs. And while McBride was gone, Curtis Campher went out, not out at the end of the innings with 59 runs against his name, as Ireland managed 172 runs on the board. Willey picking up his career best figures and a fifer on his ODI comeback. If Ireland's start with the bat was rusty, England's start with the bat was scratchy too. Both Jason Roy and Jonny Bairstow struggled for timing in the initial phase and seemed like trying too hard. That is what Andy McBride took advantage of. Jonny Bairstow tried to sweep one. He was given not out LBW on the field, but a brilliant review from Ireland saw 3 reds and Bairstow was gone. Very soon, Jason Roy was gone as well. He hit 14 runs off his last 3 balls, but then Craig Young wrapped him LBW in front of the wickets. He was gone. James Vince was out there and he was looking in great touch before Young got him as well. Now in the middle were 2 batsmen who had to prove a point. Tom Banton and Sam Billings, youngsters fighting for a spot in this side. They this time seemed to stitch together a partnership. But then Banton mistimed a pull off Campher, who seemed like he couldn't do any wrong. Banton was gone. Now the onus was on Sam Billings to prove his worth. He had come in as an injury replacement for Joe Denley and he did not disappoint, playing his shots but with caution. He played his reverse sweeps, he played his sweeps, but ensured that no wickets fell. And with captain watching at the other end, England cruised to their target with no further damage. England take an easy 1-0 lead and also gain 10 ICC Cricket World Cup Super League points. But Ireland should not be disappointed. There were a number of green shoots in this game, and if they can capitalize on them, they definitely have a point to prove in this series. Can they? Second ODI promises to be an exciting encounter.